With the amount of bombs raining down on the NRL bunker, you would think we lived in wartime Germany, but we do not. We live in an era where the NRL administration are in the crosshairs of media commentators, players and ultimately fans. Now, Will, this needs to be fixed and quick.
Yeah, it does. It's beginning to be embarrassing. I mean, every time we sit here and we talk, we're talking about referees. We're not talking about how great our game is and how much we can grow the game. Origin's over now. This is that shit time where there's nothing to talk about. The referees have been copping a hammering all year. Something's got to happen drastically because we just can't keep on talking about it and nothing happened.
Spook, I think this has to be a Todd Greenberg problem.
Yeah, well, of course it is. I mean, it all starts at the top, right? But then, you know, it's all the people that he's implanted within the system. You've got Bernard Sutton, you've got Tony Archer and all these sorts of people. But it all comes down to protecting their positions as well. I don't think the betterment of the game is at the forefront of their minds here. Everyone's just trying to protect themselves and get paid, you know, and that's a pretty poor state of affairs. And you've got to understand, when you've got legends like Phil Gould, Andrew Johns and the like coming out and saying that this is just not
and
acceptable.
The bunker.
Yeah.
There's simple rules like blow the bunker.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's just, and these are greats of the games. Even I just say Bill Harrigan, who's arguably the best referee of all time, get rid of the bunker.
Yeah.
And he knows that there's human error and all this kind of stuff, but there was no technology when he was around and no one really complained about Bill.
Yeah.
He did it his own way.
Yeah, but you've got to understand why, because back in the day there was one referee, right? So one referee and two touchies, okay?
Yeah.
So basically they've got a lot to deal with, a lot of information to decompartmentalise and just taking in a lot of stuff. So they're going to miss stuff. So when that happens, the game flows.
Yeah.
You know, when you got one guy at the ruck, one guy taking guys back in the 10, you got
in goals,
you've got touchies. I mean, they've all got to justify their positions, Willie. Everyone's got to act like they're doing something so they can please their bosses.
So we've heard arguments of like, you know, they should be going back to one ref. I think MG come out with something. One ref and all these other sort of rules, and you know, captain's call, all these kind of rules, sort of trying to come in. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about one ref can handle the game these days. I'm pretty sure two can, because one just needs to handle the ruck and one needs to handle the 10.
I think one of the things that I've noticed at the start of the year, Todd Greenberg comes out and says, these are the directions that we've given the refs, and if anyone's got a problem with it, come to me. Then people have a problem with it. They go to Todd Greenberg and he's going, well, we're going to modify it slightly. Now he's saying we don't have a problem and there's got to be accountability. The narrative just keeps changing.
Yeah, I think even if you go back to round one and how crazy the refs were on the play the ball. Yeah. there was 30 penalties blown in one game. It was ridiculous. They were ruining the game. And then the players slowly clicked on. But at the end of the day, the players were right again because, you know, they've slipped off again and they're doing something else. So the players were always right. And I was saying, you know what, it'll be a 10-round thing, a 12-round thing, maybe 6. It could go for 18. But at the end of the day, the refs will forget about what happened. And look, now they're only blown... You can watch a whole game now and see blokes just throwing it through their legs. Yeah. It's only sometimes the refs will pull them up. So the players are right to really just ignore refs most of the time because... they're full of shit. They'll just tell you something, and then at the end of the day, they're going to forget about it and then try and clue onto something else. Yeah, but what's going on now is that it's just gone to a next level where we have not stopped talking about referees. We're heading up into the business part of the town, and we don't know what's going on with the rules.
It's going to get even worse.
What's going to go on?
Think about it. Now the stakes get higher, right? Finals football's around the corner.
This is ridiculous.
And it's just going to get... the microscope is going to get even closer, and everyone's going to be highlighted even more. But the problem is, like, you've got the bunker, okay? It's a facilitator in itself. It's a vehicle to make money. You know, we talked about it earlier, Ian, about the KFC ads that constantly pop up with the officials going to the video referee. You know, and that pays for a lot of things. You know, it costs them a lot of money to set up that bunker. They can't just throw it away now. And on top of that, and I think this is the most important thing, it's a pride thing. And they don't want to be seen to lose. But the thing is, when have you ever heard Todd Greenberg get on the back of individual refs? That's what he's done. Yeah. It's basically saying they need to get better. That never happens. Yeah. Never happens.
Like they are elite refs, elite athletes. I've seen some of these refs train in the preseason. They train as hard as players. Yeah. They've got their own collective bargain. They've got their own collective group. They train their butts off. So there's no reason why they all keep up with the game. They all know the rules. Yeah. But I just don't understand how they can just fuck up every single
but
week. There is a
the
dramatic
leadership. Is it where they're being directed? Because that's what everyone's saying. If people are saying, don't blame the refs, blame the people that are actually giving them the direction and these sort of KPIs and these key performance indicators that they need to uphold in order to, I don't know, get to certain levels within the refereeing tree.
So it's gone analytic.
Yeah.
The refs have gone analytic.
Yeah, well, the whole
Honestly,
thing's gone analytics.
I don't necessarily blame the referees. They're out there doing a job. If I'm a referee and I know that if I make a decision, I can just go upstairs and check, and then all of the responsibility's off me.
That's right.
You know, they don't have to have that accountability anymore because they can just go, well, the bunker.
And what happens as a result of that? Their confidence drops, right? So they can't make decisions. So what are they going to do? They're going to constantly revert to the video referee. So they're going backwards. You know, they're not building blocks. Like guys like Harrigan when he sent off Gordon Tallis, like that took a lot of guts. You could never see a referee today. Can you imagine it?
Well, they tried to take the balls just to send Cameron Smith off at the start of the year to show some sort of,
but
you know.
What I'm trying to say is that we don't have the referees that have that sort of presence anymore.
100%. Like Bill ref me when I was really young, and he had a presence on the field, and we respected him so much as young players. You wouldn't backchat Bill.
Yeah.
You wouldn't backchat all them older senior referees, Hampstead and all these guys, because you respected them because they did a good job.
Yeah.
And there weren't that many refs that had a really bad attitude. Now all I see is a bunch of refs going out there with no confidence.
Yeah.
They're just going, do I go to the bunker? Do I award this try? And that's where you see the ref awarding that try against Cronulla, against the Raiders.
Yeah.
And like the touch judge.
What is that? But come on.
That was pathetic.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that the ref's just going, all right, I'll just whatever I've seen.
How
in
did
my
they
eyes.
miss it though?
I know, but he goes, this is where the refs don't know what the hell's going on. They go, all right, I'm just going to take it into my own accountability and award the try.
Yeah.
That's what he thought. He would have thought, I'm doing something good here. It would have been, hopefully it's not back.
Yeah,
no,
but Bernie Sutton, we spoke about it before, Ian, you were mentioning how Jared Sutton's been dropped to the Warriors-Titans game as a result. They said that he was going to be punished, right?
Well, he gets dropped to another game, an NRL game.
So what are you trying to do? You're actually diminishing your own
Send him back
product.
to Newtown.
It's saying it's a very, very disrespectful thing for the Titans and the Warriors for them to say that one NRL game...
Send him to Reggie's.
Reserve grade.
That's right. If you're going to demote a
Henson
bloke,
Park.
Yeah.
2 o'clock. I'll be on the hill.
That's right. Now, do you think
When
that
you're
if his
playing
name wasn't Sutton, that would be the situation? Do you think he'd be dealt with in such a lenient form?
You know
I
what?
don't think they drop. I honestly don't think that a high-profile referee, he's had he's had a couple of bad decisions, there's no question, but I don't think he should be made the scapegoat of everything.
But what about the touchy? Where's he?
Touchy should be out in Dubbo.
Yeah, but rightly
under sixes.
But when the referee has the whistle to his mouth, right, and he doesn't call it and then lets it go upstairs, and then they even miss that knock on.
Sutton should be in reserve grade. Yeah. And I do think that there's something to do with his last name. It's his brother.
That's
as if
right.
you don't have that sort of, that kindred sort of spirit.
Exactly.
And it's his brother. I wouldn't fucking drop my brother.
Yeah, that's right.
100% wouldn't.
But
all right, sorry, mate, you were just playing a lower game. Get your shit together, and I'll get you back up to the top games next week. I ain't going to put you in reserve grade. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
I think leadership is a funny thing, and two of the things that good leaders have, they have an ability to have a vision for whatever it is they're leading in, and they also have the ability to communicate that. Now, I think at the moment, there's a vacuum in communication. You've got Sutton who comes out every now and then to say things. You've got Todd Greenberg who basically only comes out when things are... They're again being reactive instead of proactive.
I don't think it's on Todd Greenberg. I honestly don't. It's whoever's the head of the referees, it's on you. That's your job. Todd Greenberg put you in that position to control referees and to manage them and to be the boss of the referees. Do your job.
Yeah.